part of the problem when the DNR and they built that slough and built those levees, the drainage from both watersheds that come in there, it didn't improve the drainage. It restricted, water used to run into the lake a little quicker, get away quicker. Now it holds it back.
Did it where that boat ramp is, did it run, I mean, there was no dike there where the trail was on top of it, was there? They build that up when they put the trail in there, so that water used to get to that point and just sort of flood the whole area there or not?
Yeah, I don't know, that whole slough, they used to farm that slough. And where the water, well, some of that water came down the road ditch, but there's a road ditch was full of water before, and now it's, I don't know, it's kind of a diversion, keeping the runoff out of that slough.
I mean, it's trying to force the water to go down that ditch that goes under the trail and then over to that 48.
Yeah.
But then, like this morning, the 48, I don't know what the three triples underneath the trail are, but they were taking more water than what the 48 was. So the water was running across this road that goes from where the triples are back to the 48. The water's running across the road there and into, I don't know, is that an old gravel pit on the other side of the...
Yeah, it's running in there this morning.
Yeah. I don't know where the water goes after it gets in the water pit or in the gravel pit either.
But here's the highway, here's 68. And the water, from this watershed comes down here and across, and it runs down here and goes, this is the bike trail. There's three culverts there, then there's a boat ramp going into the slough. There's a 48 underneath the road there. And then it goes down, and at that point it kind of, there's a structure in the slough that the DNR controls with planks. They hold water back or let it go. And this whole slough was dry before the last big rain. For some reason, they didn't have the planks in, so the slough was bone dry. Now it's, so the water, there's a big watershed, comes in this way into the slough, and then Becker's ground, and kind of to the south and southwest of this area comes down here. So there's two watersheds.
The bike trail.
That's right.
Is on a berm, on a dike.
Yeah, and that wasn't there before. So this water just used to, from this watershed used to just go into that property. So they kind of channelized it and slowed it down a little bit. But
how were they able to do that, to slow the water from the drainage district? I mean,
well, it's not a drainage district, but there's some county tile up there.
But it's not an actual district. Well, and even if it's not, they still have civil. They really, there's an issue there about whether they can slow the water down.
Triple bikes here.
I'm trying to think of where here's the
Waterway.
well, yeah, it is. You're right. There's arrowheads right on this side. Yeah, it's right there. Bike trail will be, we're kind of right at that point. Yeah. This is the slough.
Yeah, this is the area you talk about. Drainage comes down and fills the slough, comes to
this watershed, and then this water. There is.
That's a drainage. So this is the junction.
Yeah, but see the structure. This is outside the junction.
Yep. That's like you say, the water comes down this side of the road.
Yeah.
Comes across the railroad track, and then across the county road. Goes to the west side.
Well, I don't know. That guy owns quite a bit of land. It slows water down, but he doesn't have any crop drowning out this morning because of the corn stalks. There's enough slope there.
Yeah.
But they see that, they see those corn stalks there, and they see the high water, and in their minds, you know, most of his land's upstream. It's quite a drop. So,
Go down there.
but I think it's a neat, you know, it sounds like it's the DNR's responsibility to clean the corn stalks.
Yeah, I mean, my understanding is they're the ones that were down there last year one time cleaning the pitchforks and cleaning the stalks out. But normally the stalks, you know, typically they float on top and they don't, you know, do a lot of destruction if there's enough water flow. And then when the water goes down, they float on through with the water. But at least in this case, it didn't appear that they were holding the water back a week ago. And this morning, there wasn't near as many stalks there as there had been the time before. Because they certainly all washed off the first time, but now there isn't as many getting washed down. I don't, you know, whether there's any kind of agreement with the conservation, or the trail people when they put the trail in, or the conservation, or the DNR, I guess I have no idea.
I could check with Chris.
You know, the trail, I think, most of those triple pipe is in the, I think that, I guess that's right away, at least. It's not right away, it's all supposed to be in the right away, up along there. So whether there's an agreement about putting the trail in the right away.
Well, I just want to know if you guys had a written response to the zoning.
The zoning commission, we had asked them to meet, but I don't know if they've met.
They had a Farm Bureau meeting last night, they're asking if Vince or I had a written response yet. We didn't know. Vince said he called yesterday, and he said he couldn't get anybody. We're just curious if we could get that somebody.
I guess we'd be interested to know what, in your discussion, what are your group thinking as far as user fee for service versus?
According to the information we get from the lawyers, the Farm Bureau, the permit and the application fee and the permit fee are exempt, period. And they just want to know what your base is of why there can be a permit and permit fee. That's what they want to know. We said we'd try to get them written what your defense was, and we give to them so they can review it. That's all we want.
Okay. We haven't asked the sanitarian whether that group's met, and we can double check on that, but I think we are curious as far as that has to be funded, even though it's very small in some fashion, and your two choices in our discussion were to be a user fee with the application process, or it would be done through rural basic, and
that's what we got to send to them, because I'm not a lawyer, and I guess our question is any fee or any use or anybody being paid to do that is necessary, I guess.
That's
what we're coming from. Can there be an application? I mean, is there anybody needs to be paid to do this, that, the other? I don't know. If I'm not a lawyer, you're not a lawyer, we just need a written some kind of a response for them so they can review.
When we initiated through our county attorney, he indicated that he felt the application fee
well, we discussed this at the last meeting.
Would be applicable, and that maybe an inclining scale may not.
And like I said, I'm not a lawyer. We just send it to them and they can review it. So,
okay, we will.
For me to talk about, I don't know. So they just say the application, the permit fee is unnecessary according to Iowa law, and supervisors can't change Iowa law. That's what their stance is on that. So that's all there is to it, I guess. They just need a written application.